Good morning. 2 days in a row. Williston students, 2 days in a row, but you look a lot more alert today than yesterday, so welcome. It's great to have you here. Special welcome to our guests and our families and to our inductees in today's Cum Laude induction ceremony. One of my favorite poets is William Butler Yeats, and he always talked about education is not so much of filling up a pail as it is of lighting a fire. And while we hope that fires burn for all students at Williston academically, as we know they do, the students that we're going to honor today are burning brightly, and so we're all going to celebrate their achievements, and it's great to do that. I was told by Mr. Talea that I was underdressed because I'm not in a suit. But anyway, he is in a suit, and so I hope when it's his turn to speak, you acknowledge just really how good Mr. Talea looks today, which I'm very happy for. So without further ado, and to keep this ceremony moving along, may I ask Ms. Cody, who's the secretary of the Cum Laude Society, to come up now, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. Good morning. We gather this morning to honor 10 seniors who we will induct into the Cum Laude Society, the highest academic award that the Williston Northampton School faculty can bestow. In celebrating such academic excellence, we celebrate our fundamental mission to inspire students to live with scholarly purpose, intellectual passion, and personal integrity. The Cum Laude Society is a national honor society modeled on Phi Beta Kappa. Williston Academy joined the society in 1921. The Northampton School for Girls received its charter in 1951. And in 1971, the society granted the merged Williston Northampton School a new charter. All of us gathered here can take inspiration from the three ancient Greek words that form the motto of Cum Laude. Arete, meaning excellence, dike, meaning justice, and time, meaning honor. Excellence, justice, and honor can characterize the life each of us chooses to lead, and the faculty applaud everyone here who strives to live a life so inspired. Moreover, we thank your families. We hope they will enjoy today as a reflection of their influence upon your lives. Please remember to thank all of those people who have helped you grow your roots and your wings. As we nurture your curiosity and persistence in the search for truth, beauty, and justice, you have taught us much about language and art, about math and science, about history and philosophy and faith, and above all, about a love of learning. Because we live in uncertain times, your effort matters. You remind us that learning remains a fundamentally progressive, optimistic, and democratic enterprise. In you, we witness what can be accomplished by a wonderful mixture of human potential and hard work. And we catch a glimpse of a brighter future. May you embrace the opportunity to improve an ever-changing world. As I call your name, please come forward to receive your membership pin and certificate from President Karen Ram and Vice President Greg Tulea. Dora Gordon. Robert Hill. Kim Sung-woo, Simon Kim. Aiden McCreary. Donald Poulin. Shen Jiacheng, Amanda Shen. Caleb Stern. Wang Tichuan Glid Wang. Emily Warren. Trix Willems. Please turn to Ms. Karen Ram, President of the Williston Chapter of the Cum Laude Society, for your formal induction.
Great. Your exemplary record in academics and citizenship has earned for you membership in the Cum Laude Society. This society is a fellowship of scholars whose purpose is to recognize excellence in academic work. It is our sincere hope that you will accept the honor of membership as a responsibility to strive for similar excellence in all future endeavors, and, along the way, to contribute to finding solutions to some of the major challenges facing your generation. On behalf of the faculty, I want to thank you for your consistently strong effort. As you have pursued your goals, you have inspired your classmates and teachers. By the authority duly granted me, it is with great pride and pleasure that I welcome you into the Williston Northampton chapter of the Cum Laude Society. Congratulations.
Congratulations, you guys. It's a great honor to welcome back today our speaker, Shannon O'Brien, and it really is really more of a coming home because Shannon is from East Hampton, and as you were coming up and getting your medals, she was leaning over a couple of times and saying, I babysat for his mom, or I babysat for her parent. So there's a really long connection with Shannon, East Hampton, and Williston. Shannon is a graduate of Williston Northampton School from the class of 1977, and she was the White Blazer Award winner at commencement here that year. There's a nice synergy that goes on. She was a White Blazer winner here and then spent her career as a trailblazer. And I'd like to just say a couple words about that. Yesterday I mentioned to you all as we celebrated a new Congress and the largest number of women ever in that new Congress, there's a nice connection to Shannon O'Brien. After she graduated from Yale and then Boston University Law School, she went on to a life of public service as a state legislature and as the first female state treasurer. She was then also the first female of a major party to run for governor, and she lost in a very tight race to somebody whose name you might recognize, Senator Mitt Romney. So she lost that election in 2002, but was undaunted, continued her life of public service, and has made a lasting impression on the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. She has continued in numerous leadership roles in the public sector and in the private sector. Most recently, she was the CEO of the Girl Scouts of Greater Boston. So we have here today not only a graduate of the Williston Northampton School, but a trailblazer, somebody who will share part of her experience with you. We're delighted to have her back. And Shannon, thank you very much for coming here today. Shannon O'Brien.
Thank you, head of school, which is a new term for me coming back for the first time since that. It's an honor for me to join the faculty, parents, students, and cum laude inductees in the chapel. I have to give a special shout out, and I'm going to make you raise your hand. Emily O'Brien, I hope she showed up for school today. Emily, where are you? There you are, my niece. And she is the 4th generation of O'Briens who have attended here. And I believe she's sitting next to, or one over from, my classmate, Ed Hing, who worked on the Willistonian with me. He was my photographer when I was on the paper. And yes, indeed, Caleb Stearns, sorry, I babysat for your mother. And I babysat for a few couches and a few Mosers, and I don't know if Dawn, if you are from East Hampton, but I think I may know your family as well. So this kind of goes a long way back as an East Hampton resident, but someone who spent 4 years at Williston. I loved my time here. I started out as a very shy day student, but I gained so much as a student here. I capped off my 4 years at Williston by being named the editor of the Willistonian newspaper. That's where I learned to write succinctly and under deadline with Kathleen Robinson. I was elected captain of the soccer, basketball, and softball teams coached by Sue Curry and Ray Brown, and they both taught me the importance of teamwork and putting in the extra effort to reach your goals. I'd like to begin today by congratulating today's Cum Laude inductees. The Cum Laude designation rewards outstanding academic achievement. However, it also represents a responsibility to use those personal gifts to make a contribution to society in the future. We honor your terrific GPA today, but you are going to find that in 10, 20, or in my case, 40 years later, those grades will be long forgotten. However, your contributions impacting others will be the most important yardstick that will be the true measure of your success once you grow up. And while this is a great personal honor for you who are celebrating today, I would also like to acknowledge the teachers, parents, and yes, your classmates who have helped you along the way to achieve this important award. Cum Laude is awarded to young men and women who are excellent students, but it also takes into consideration the leadership and character our honorees have demonstrated during their Williston experience. This celebration is not just a capping off affair. It launches a new path that challenges these inductees to improve their leadership skills and to continue to embrace learning, which will help them become tomorrow's adult leaders and problem solvers. I'd like to share a few lessons that I've learned along the way that helped me become a leader and pave the way for an interesting and rewarding career path. I'm the oldest of 5 children. And I think leadership comes naturally to the oldest members of the family, or as my siblings called it, being bossy. So it kind of came easy to me to kind of tell people what to do. And I think there are a lot of people like me who are either born bossy or who learn to be bossy when they're kids. We just instinctively think, yep, I want to make something happen, so I'm just going to grab my friends and make this happen. In 4th grade, I attended Immaculate Conception Catholic School, now known as Our Lady of the Valley, and at some point, my 9-year-old self decided we need to have plays. And so I wrote the script for A Christmas Carol, and I corralled all my friends to be in the play with me. And of course, I cast myself as Scrooge, because I couldn't entrust this important role to a lesser star. Even though there were some complaints about the casting, and Mr. Gregory is nodding yes, that was a poor casting choice, the nuns gave me rave reviews, okay, so I was good from the beginning. I grew up in the 70s, before Title IX guaranteed girls equal access to play sports. In grammar school, our only sports activity was watching the boys play sports. So I decided to form a 5th grade cheerleading team. And once again, I got to work organizing my friends. My mother actually had leftover fabric from our couch, and I decided we would use this couch material in pink and orange to make skirts that were just short enough that the nuns allowed us to go out on the court. We made up our own cheers, and we were off. Now, one thing you have to understand, that if you are a Catholic school cheerleader, you not only have to be a good athlete, you also have to be smart. Why? You have to be able to do a cartwheel and do the splits. But you also have to spell out the word Immaculate Conception. And it never got done between a single timeout. Now, sheer bossiness can only get you so far. And as I got older, I learned some important lessons that have helped me carve a career in politics, business, journalism, and nonprofit leadership, which has been very rewarding. As I previously noted, I enjoyed the opportunity to play sports for some great coaches here at Williston. I was also lucky to gain acceptance to Yale University, where I played rugby, and I played soccer for 4 years and was elected captain of the team my senior year. Now, the year I was captain, we had lost some of our best players to graduation or injury. We had a new team, and we had a new coach. It took a lot of work for us to win even one game, but we ended up doing okay. In a competitive league, we had a 500 record. At the end of the season, my team signed an autograph book honoring my year as captain. There was one line that I've carried with me throughout my life. My friend Susan wrote to me, "Shannon, thank you for being a good captain. You didn't just pay attention to the superstars and the goal scorers. You always took the time to watch the little moves on the field. You cheered the things that most people didn't see, that didn't get recognized by others. This one note made me most proud of my 4 years playing soccer at Yale." Now, I have to tell you, I definitely was not the most dominant soccer player on the field. As a matter of fact, I only got 1 goal in 4 years for Princeton. But I learned a lot. Yeah, think about that, okay? Anyway, you're kind of going back, doing the line, oh yeah, okay. Anyway, but I learned a lot about how to build a team, how you get the most out of people, and how you make them perform a little bit beyond what one might expect. Everyone on the team has value, and everyone's contributions should be acknowledged. It's a powerful motivator for success. The lesson I learned? Pay attention and learn the strengths of the entire team. Be generous with honest compliments. Leadership is not about being the best. It is about making everyone else better. Now, after graduating from Yale, I headed to Washington to work for Springfield Congressman Edward Boland. I was there at an exciting time. I further honed my skills in research and writing, and I learned to absorb complex issues quickly. But the single best lesson I learned in this job is be nicer than you have to. Go the extra mile for someone. There was a senior staff person in the Springfield office who was always asking someone for some little annoying chore to be done. One day, an important constituent's daughter had a research paper. Could you look up this topic and get it back to me by Friday? Now remember, this is the time before Google, when human beings were the search engines of the world. And so low-level staff had to actually go out to the library and do this. So I was the only one who raised my hand. I said, I would do it. Go to the Library of Congress? Yes. Do a research paper for a 10th grader? Absolutely. I worked in the congressman's office for a year and then left to attend Boston University Law School. But these small acts of helpfulness paid off for me later, when this same guy happened to know one of the partners at a law firm I was applying to after graduation. This guy made a phone call for me, and I am confident that it helped me get that big job that I wanted. But it gets even better than that. 20 years later, when I was the CEO of the Patriots Trail Girl Scouts, I was fired up to get this cool new program hosted at Fenway Park. I wanted the Sox to donate space for our day-long girls' career event. Well, I found out just how small the world is when the person calling me back about the event was that same coworker's daughter. She remembered that her father always appreciated my assistance and told me she would do whatever it took to make the event a success. And she did, and it was. So second leadership lesson learned, be kinder than you have to. It pays big dividends when you least expect it. Now, each of today's inductees has shown they are on the path toward success. But the next lesson applies to everyone in the hall here today. One might have superior intellect, be good in math, have a talent for writing, a curiosity about history, or a flair for language. Everyone here is at or near the cusp of your next challenge, getting into college. There is a lot of pressure on all of you students here, and I'm sure it's overwhelming. Last year, Harvard University released a report outlining how the constant drive towards academic success and competition is breeding a generation of young people focused on priorities that aren't healthy for them and don't contribute towards creating the best leaders for a new generation. The report stated that the competitive college admissions process itself is contributing to societal problems by focusing more on personal or financial success rather than a concern for others and the public good. The headline read, "What's the secret to getting into Harvard? Be a nicer human being." One of the authors stated, elite institutions are becoming less interested in students who do service projects just to place a notch on their belt. They want to see people who have a genuine interest in helping others or solving a particular problem. They are telling competitive college applicants, take a breath. Take time to find out what is truly important to you, what motivates you, so you can dig deeper into yourself to make changes happen. Which brings me to my final point, find your passion. After spending that year in DC, I went to law school. I did this because I thought that was what was expected of me. Go to law school. I went to law school without really having contemplated what it meant for me to be a lawyer. And as a result, I was a somewhat lackluster student. I did okay, I got B's, a couple A's, but I did not love the law. It was not until I entered a program in my third and final year of law school as a public defender that I finally found my passion for law, but more importantly, public service. I was a student attorney at the Boston Municipal Court, representing indigent clients. I finally found out what it was about law school that I liked. I liked being in court. I liked helping people. In my last term at law school, I had 12 real clients, and I took 4 cases to trial and won 3 of those trials. I would leave early in the morning to meet my clients before court. I'd spend half the day in the law library researching an argument for my case, and one day I was actually coming down with the measles with a budding fever, and I took the train and then a bus to go to the police department to pick up records. Then I walked another mile to go to the scene of the alleged crime to understand better how my client's defense for criminal trespass could be argued. I thought I was about to die that day, but I was tireless and I loved every minute of it. This lackluster law student received the highest grade of all the students participating in the Legal Defenders and Prosecutors program that spring. You can applaud now. No. When I graduated, I was excited when I got my first job working for a large and prestigious insurance defense firm in Boston. The money was great. I had my own office. I had a secretary. But I soon found that the daily routine of reading the fine print in insurance policies was boring. I was able to go to court and argue motions, but 75% of the work I was able to do was really not the thing I wanted to do as a lawyer. And I thought that I'd gotten a great job, but it really didn't fit me. And the problem was, I hadn't done any deep thinking about what that meant in terms of a career that could last for 25 years or more. I never regretted the intellectual rigor of being a law student, and I became an excellent writer through that training. But I soon figured out that being a lawyer was not what I wanted to do. About 6 months into my job as an insurance attorney, the East Hampton state rep announced his retirement. I jumped at the chance to not only work with the law, but to have a unique opportunity to be a leader who could actually change the laws. So at age 27, I began a career in public service which spanned 15 years. I really took to my first campaign immediately. With my family's help, and I think Peter Gunn worked on my first or second campaign, I put together a great campaign, and I loved the campaign. In short time, I was knocking on doors, thousands of doors, talking to thousands of people. I actually enjoyed the insane pace every day. I liked speaking to people. I liked listening to their concerns and trying to convince them that I was the best qualified candidate with the best vision for the district. I was the youngest candidate in the race. I started when I was 26 and the only woman. But for the first time, I faced some of the sexist pushback that I had never experienced before. Now, I remember knocking on one door in Hadley, and I had put together my pamphlet and my resume, and I handed the woman a pamphlet. She's looking at my pamphlet. She goes, "Wow, what experience. Williston, Northampton School, Yale. You're a lawyer. What a resume." but I don't see that you're married here. Is something wrong with you that you're not married? Is there some problem with you? I mean, she literally, because I wasn't married, wasn't going to vote for me. Okay. So then I built my second brochure, and this was going to focus on education. And it was the 1,275 reasons to vote for Shannon O'Brien, and that was the number of kids in the public schools in the 3 towns. So I had gathered all my friends' kids, and we sat on a couch, 11 kids, me and 11 kids, and took the picture, and it was in this great brochure. So I'm knocking on doors in South Hadley, and there's this older guy, kind of cranky and raking his leaves, and didn't really want to talk to me, but he took the brochure. And, you know, didn't want to talk, so I'm walking down, I'm about a block away, and all of a sudden I can hear him behind me screaming at me. And I look, and I go, what? He goes, how dare you be so selfish? What do you mean, sir? I'm looking at this brochure. These children of yours, you're running for office and leaving them home alone. How can you do this? Okay, we're going to do the math again. 26 years old, 11 kids. It's possible. It's possible. But anyway. So I won that first election in a landslide, 117 votes. After I was sworn in, I was excited to discover something that few people can experience. Real power to get things done. At 27, I was passing laws to cut the cost of health care. I was passing laws to combat child abuse. I was helping people get handicap plates. So this was a huge thing for me. At 27 years old, being able to make a real difference for people. And that was way better than that boring legal job that I had. Now, I've had a long and successful series of careers. I've made history in politics. I've won awards in television journalism. I've created wonderful opportunities for kids in youth development, and I've co-founded a technology company. I've made a lot of money sometimes and made a little money other times. I've turned jobs that would have made me a lot richer than I am today. But the times that I've generated the greatest achievements have been working in areas where I have the deepest passion for what I was doing. When I woke up each day, excited to get out of bed to make something happen. I went to law school because that's what my parents expected me to do. And I hated being a lawyer. But I took that education and I turned it into a career where rather than working within the law, I made changes to laws that improve people's lives. So my final piece of advice when it comes to your future success echoes the advice of that Harvard report I mentioned. Take real time to get to know yourself. Be honest with yourself about both your talents as well as what you enjoy doing each day. If you can find a way to get paid to do what you love, you will be happier and way more successful in whatever field you choose. Oh yeah, and be kinder than you have to every day. Thank you.
Wow, there was so much there. I wish I'd heard that when I was in high school. I love be kinder than you have to. That's awesome. I also love the message, obviously, about taking the time to figure out what that passion is of yours so that you arrive, 40 years later, looking back at your various careers and saying you enjoyed going to them every day. Looking at you, Ms. Sawyer, and you would probably tell me that you're paid to read books and paid to write, and so you actually are doing the things you love. So pay attention, guys, and I'm glad you did. I'd like to invite all the faculty who aren't teaching next and our honored inductees and their families and guests to my house and Catherine's house now for a reception. And you've been a wonderful audience. Thank you very much. Have a beautiful day.